The Joe Rogan Experience.
This whole Jimmy Kimmel situation that is happening right now.
Yeah, wild.
Very wild. Okay, first of all, the FCC is, you have to have a license to broadcast, which is kind of crazy when you think about what that means now. Because, like, what does it mean? It used to mean that you used to have a license to broadcast because you were going to influence so many people. They had to make sure that you were on the up and up, right? So they had to make sure that you didn't swear. So if you had a license and you were on CBS or NBC or ABC, you could not swear, right? That was the rule. And then along came cable. And somehow or another, cable
Changed the game.
is a different thing, right? Because cable, you just... You have to pay for it, I guess, so it's different. And so then some of the channels you don't have to pay for. It used to be the only ones that swore were like HBO, where you had to pay for. And then all of a sudden it became kind of any of them because they realized, like, hey, we don't, like FX, we can swear, guys. Like, we only don't swear because we want to think of ourselves as TV.
Right.
But HBO was like, you know, with The Sopranos, with HBO comedy specials, in the beginning that was a big one. You could just swear. Movies, you didn't have to bleep anything out, just wild. And so these, what you're dealing with even, like, first of all, I definitely don't think that the government should be involved ever in dictating what a comedian can or cannot say in a monologue. That's fucking crazy.
It's crazy.
Now, if the problem is the companies, if they're being pressured by the government, so if that's real, and if people on the right are like, yeah, go get them, oh my God, you're crazy. You're crazy for supporting this because this will be used on you. You don't think that the fucking globalist lizard people who run the world are sitting here going, great, what do we got, 3 years? We'll wait this out. Wait this out. Yeah. Let them say the government should be involved in censoring people's speech. Yeah. Let them support that. Let these fucking dumbasses, because Jimmy Kimmel's a leftist, let these dumbasses think it's a good idea and we should celebrate that.
That's the most toxic shit I keep seeing online when people are like, yeah, shut him down.
So going back to this Jimmy Kimmel thing, there's a lot going on with this.
Do you know him, by the way, or no?
Yes. He's a good guy. Jimmy's a good guy. He's a smart guy. He's a funny guy. He was always very funny on when you know, he did that fucking Windy City Heat thing.
I love that. It's such a good movie.
I think he tried to distance himself from that.
Oh, big time.
He's like very, very, very successful because it's a 25-year prank.
What's his name? Perry Farrell?
Yeah. No, let's not mention him.
Okay.
Because
I know.
litigious. Let's just have people go find it when he City Heat. But you see that and you go, oh, that's the same guy? Like, yeah. Well, so one thing that does happen to guys as they get older is, you know, they soften their ways and they change who they are and they change how they interface with the world. And, you know, and then if you're in Hollywood, you're also addicted to an ideology. And it depends on what kind of style you have. So if you have a funny, mocking style that is like satirical, that's always making fun of things tongue-in-cheek, like Norm Macdonald, perfect example. Norm Macdonald, even if he's making fun of you, is not going to piss you off to the point where you tweet about him. Because if you do, he kind of won. He kind of got you. You know what I mean? So it's like Kimmel has this sort of go fuck yourself style. Well, because it's kind of ironically, he celebrated in his monologue when Tucker Carlson got fired. It's kind of a problem. Yeah. And it's also kind of a problem that he, in his monologue, talked about how it was the right thing to fire Roseanne.
Yeah, I remember that.
A little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
A little bit of a problem. Also a problem that he thought the unvaccinated, he made a joke about the unvaccinated people shouldn't get hospital care if there's people who are vaccinated that need that room. I think the joke was, oh, vaccinated person who's had a heart attack, come right in here, sir. Unvaxxed person who gobbled horse goo, rest in peace, Wheezy. Like, that was the joke. Like, I'm unvaccinated. And I was like, that's kind of a fucked up joke, but I'm not mad at him.
No, it's a joke.
It's just a joke.
It's a joke. But
it's like, those things weren't a problem. But this one thing where he said it was a low point. What did he say? I want to be real clear. Let's like pull up his actual quote, because what he said was not bad. It wasn't accurate though, but it wasn't bad. He was just trying to set up this joke of Trump which was good.
It was a great show.
It was very funny.
But the setup was a little wonky. I do remember listening to it.
But it was also like, it's the problem with doing it that way on Monday is that by Sunday night, they already knew that this guy, his family had been saying that, again, I don't even know if he really did it. But this person who they're talking about,
the plant,
this person who they're talking about, whether or not he did it or didn't do it, well, the FBI is now investigating deeply and further, by the way.
Yeah, we'll find out.
So Kash Patel did say that. Whatever that means.
Yeah, that was it's a weird phrasing when he goes, they're trying to pin it as anybody but them.
Yeah.
Asserting that he was a MAGA
Well, this is the thing. In the beginning, people thought he was. So the first reports were that he was a hardcore right-wing guy. That he was a registered Republican, which he may or may not be. Sometimes people go back and forth, you know. And then the other thing was that he was a groyper. So he was a Nick Fuentes fan. That was some other stuff that was going around.
What's groyper?
We'll get into that in a bit.
Okay.
Hold, please.
Yeah.
Then it came out that, no, his father is a law enforcement guy?
I don't think that's true.
That's not true?
I think that's what that was part of the story, but I think later found out that wasn't
Right.
true also.
So
what's true?
Some family members, by Sunday, the Utah governor was saying that family members were reporting that this young man had been wrapped up in some very hardcore leftist ideology. So this had already been released on Sunday. So on Monday, if Kimmel had just said, you know, it was a tragic thing that Charlie Kirk died, and let's see what the president thinks about it. Goes right to him, and like, what this is the fourth stage of grief.
It's a great joke.
It's a great joke. The whole thing was great, but the problem is, we had already known by then. Again, at least the narrative is that this kid is not a MAGA